given that Blueface recently used social media to insult him and his mother. Chrisean has permanently broken up with her, that the standard 15 seconds of fame is cool right now. Even though Chrisean only gave birth to their child a few days ago, her connection with Blueface is finished. She just stated that she will never be able to get him back and exposed how odd he and his mother are. Will she, after all, keep Blueface from ever seeing their son?
It's at me because I put everybody on the blast. So, he tried to pull off.
Chrisean seems to have finally woken up after hurling the mother of all the slurs at Blueface and his mother. There has undoubtedly been a lot of drama and mayhem between Chrisean and Blueface since she gave birth to their son recently. However, since their relationship is notoriously volatile and turbulent, it is no surprise that things are sticky between them. Connection, they have been like that since the beginning. They have gotten into furious disagreements that have caused a lot of mayhem and ruin, and they have even been known to touch each other in public. Although it's obvious that Chrisean doesn't want Blueface to be, fans have been begging him to end his relationship. However, when Chrisean announced her pregnancy earlier this year, most thought Blueface would start dating Blueface through jabs at her every day after she made her pregnancy public. To answer y'all's questions, yes, me and Rock are officially done. It's strictly business. I tried pregnant, he stated. Supporters hoped that since she was expecting their kid, he would at last change his ways and try to be kinder to Chrisean, but instead he began to treat her worse. I didn't know Rock was expecting someone else's child, not mine, until I saw a DNA test. Although this was very unimportant, Chrisean refused to terminate the pregnancy because she wanted the child, even if Blueface made it apparent that he didn't want the child. Every time she expressed excitement about meeting her child, Blueface started to attack her. When she was pregnant, she wrote on her Instagram account, stating, "I had to pray away my fear of becoming a mother when I saw the face of what was growing inside of me. I fell in love right away when I saw the face and heard the heartbeat. I had to separate my heartbreak from the biggest thing that I prayed for in the beginning." But Blueface decided to mess things up by posting a screenshot of a private message. People were wondering why Chrisean didn't just leave because she was treated so badly, and it was a very sad situation. He told her, "I'm going to be a cheater forever. I'm not even going to hide it for real. Getting rid of it will give you a chance to be a person. A baby will make us stuck, and you don't want to be stuck with somebody like me, considering the way I already feel about you." In essence, Blueface was thrusting his baby mama Jaden in Chrisean's face during her pregnancy, making it clear that he would not be engaged in Chrisean and her child's life. There are too many things that Blueface did to list them all. We'll talk about it. But it turns out that Chrisean had a compelling motive for staying with Blueface in spite of his abuse of her. Chrisean went live on Instagram a few months ago to reveal that Blueface's promised to kick her in the stomach so badly that she would bleed for days, knowing full well how damaging that would be for both her and her unborn child was a wake-up call for her. She announced that she no longer wanted to be associated with Blueface and that she was permanently breaking their connection.
Look at in his eyes. Like, you don't think I'll kick you and kick you in your stomach and you do 2 months? Like, then he took my phone, make sure I wasn't recording and none of that. Like, alright, long story short, right? I try to get up. He like make one more step to the door. I'm up. Like, yo was like psychopathic.
She suddenly realized at this time that her situation was messed up and that Blueface must really hate her because it takes a lot of hate to your child's mother, decided to leave him permanently after he threatened her with something like that. She needed to defend herself and her child, but she couldn't because he had all of her money.
Plus the 200,000 we make together, because I end up putting my checks to Bond and then for me to have not a dollar in control in my name on purpose. So when you do make those threats, when you do get all like that, you just know my back against the wall, yo. It's hard to leave something that you worked hard for. Like, not gonna leave a couple M's or...
Didn't actually have access to money. Thus, it comes out that Chrisean's relationship with Blueface has been based on his financially abusing her by denying her access to money, which also explains why she keeps going back to him. In addition to controlling the money she gets from club appearances and other such events, Blueface forced the network to combine their salaries and pay him directly. At one point, no matter how much he embarrassed her, she had to make Zeus, the network that hosts her reality TV show, pay him. You believe that Chrisean was bluffing, as she has been doing the entire time. You are mistaken. She ultimately has to go. She started handling and keeping her own money once she went to the network and had her checks separated from his. Blueface became enraged and pushed her out when he found out, but she was prepared and got back up.
Already packed in the house. He just had somebody to put it outside. Boom, I said, F it. Boom. Moved into this expensive ass crib, yo. Yeah, you can call it an Airbnb. But who the fuck really paying $30,000 a month? Me, these steps that I'm taking to be okay, to be alright, to be safe, to be just in my skin, like, oh.
She had been in her relationship with him.
Like, it was weird. Like, I was like, ooh. I'm done with you. I just need to work on separating everything before I be asked out. So when he tried to leave me asked out, the process was already started. Already made over $200,000. Then I'm like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave everything and not look back.
More adult side of her that has been observed is being welcomed by her fans. She decided to stream the live delivery to her Instagram followers after going into labor a few days later. The absence of the baby's father, Blueface, in the room with her was the first thing that people noticed. Luckily for her, she had a solid support system that was there for her during her labor at all times. In my dream, she ran down the street begging him to come, and I was praying. However, Blueface decided to be disrespectful by posting a video of himself partying and having a good time in Miami on social media. And then his mother chose to follow clout, posting, "I'm coming, Rock. Call me if you're really in labor." I talked to perhaps 8 of her relatives. I asked, "Lord, what are you going through?" He wasn't there to hear her call out her son for being a jerk. But if you thought she felt sorry for Chrisean, you were. Fans are enjoying this more adult and composed side of her, which has been a joy to watch. She went live to defend Chrisean for not being there and to ridicule him for having a child with Blueface. She decided to stream the live delivery to her Instagram followers after going into labor a few days later. The absence of the baby's father, Blueface, in the room with her was the first thing that people noticed. Luckily for her, she had a solid support system that was there for her during her labor at all times. However, by posting a video of himself having a wonderful time and partying in Miami on social media, Blueface decided to be disrespectful. In my dream, his mother raced down the street begging him to come, and I prayed, "Lord, what are you going through?" while I talked to approximately 8 of her family members. Later, his mother chose to follow clout, saying, "I'm coming, Rock. Call me if you're really in labor." He wasn't there to hear her call out her son for being a jerk. But if you thought she felt sorry for Chrisean, you were wrong. She went live to justify Chrisean's absence and ridicule him for having a child with Blueface.
He needs to realize he slept with a dude that already had a ready-made family, and he can't come over here and play like this, because that would destroy his foundation over there. So he can't come over here and play how.
Furthermore, Blueface tweeted, "Social media is all entertainment for me, guys. Nothing I say or do has anything to do with Rock. I broke up with her 3 months ago, and now I'm with someone else. I've been posting about my baby mama nonstop for 3 months. I'm all about Jaden now. Please keep me and Rock out of the same conversation. Respect my baby mama." Chrisean gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and her expression suggests that she is already deeply in love with him. I simply didn't invite him. I went to my city to have my child. None of you weird people be around my son. I'm all he's got." She then clapped back at him and his mother. "I can't wait to reveal the leveling up of the new everything. Can't wait to fly back to LA after healing and moving into my new home. I'm pressing play on new beginnings, new music, and movies. I'm just beyond grateful," she said. People are cheering her on because it seems like she has finally moved on from that horrible scenario. To be honest, Blueface didn't deserve to be in the room with Chrisean during her delivery. Nobody needs that nasty, negative energy around. A beautiful experience, they have been saying in their comments. Blueface is merely publicly expressing his love for his. What do you guys think about this messy situation? Do you think she was right to protect her peace from Blueface? Or do you think Blueface should have been in the room? What do you guys think? And I'll see you in the next video. Chrisean Rock gave birth in front of her family. And I'm hoping that motherhood helps her recover from Blueface and all the trauma associated with it. If that idiot says baby mom too, I'm here for it. If that weren't enough, Blueface's mother further exacerbated the situation by accusing Cone of being responsible for her son's condition. A doctor who watched his video go live on X confirmed what most people had been speculating about all along. Junior might never be able to speak. Unless they get serious help to address his developmental delays. Chrisean has been in denial about Cone Jr.'s needs and was certain that his issues would simply go away with time. However, she couldn't have been more mistaken when she was holding her almost 2-year-old son, and people noticed that he hadn't made much progress since she chose to keep him off social media. Cone gushed about how perfect he was in every way when she returned from months away and streamed her birth live on Instagram. But people weren't really seeing any of that because the baby didn't have any hand-eye coordination or head movement. And what really set people off was when they heard him cry. He was screeching like a cat. And Chrisean was doing everything she could to make it seem like nothing was wrong. When Cone appeared on a live stream to defend getting a tattoo of Blueface on her face, her son began to cry in the background. And people couldn't help but notice that something just sounded Chrisean Rock is in denial when it comes to Junior. He isn't reaching milestones, she said, sharing another video of him being fed, which made me uneasy. However, he didn't really react to the food or the spoon until it was close enough to him. And he was already 8 months old. What 8-month-old sees food and doesn't want to grab it? And why didn't he have the typical reaction that most babies have when food is in their vicinity? One fan commented, he should have enough strength to support his head and chest while lying on his tummy. He also doesn't have that. One person commented that those milestones were made up to suit a parent's ego rather than actually celebrating a child's growth. But how does that make any sense? You're pleased to see your child reach various milestones, but you all know how much work it takes to bring a child up to speed. Bring a child into the world and raise them properly. Doctors who posted comments on the internet said that these benchmarks give parents a sense of where their children are at. If your child isn't doing certain activities at the age they should, parents may quickly discover developmental deficiencies and take appropriate action. Chrisean's son had all the physical signs of fetal alcohol syndrome. Creed's douche may be the cause of his high-pitched sobbing, but it could also be the result of an infant's alcohol withdrawal. People have also noted that when he is photographed, his pupils have folds in the corners, small eyes, enormous rosette ears, a flat mid-face, and a small skull. Reflect back as white instead of red, which could mean that he has a visual impairment. But Cone didn't care and requested that people stop attempting to diagnose her child. She claimed that she had taken him to the doctor and that everything was fine with him. That she was literally recording every minute of her child's life and that she would have posted it to prove her haters wrong. However, Blueface, who I should also add is just as lazy as Crash, reprimanded her for postponing their son's hernia surgery, claiming she had other things to do until it got worse. Only after Blueface's tirade did she take Junior too. We had never seen him walk, talk, hold a spoon, laugh, or do anything else that a normal 1-year-old child should be doing. At this point, people started berating her for wanting a child just to stay with Blueface. And her ex-friend, Janet, fueled the flames by suggesting that Crow is seriously denying that Junior needs assistance. Her son had the surgery when he was almost a year old, and she immediately posted about how quickly he was recovering to refute the claims that her son wasn't getting better. People were shocked to see that nothing had changed with her son when she took him to church to perform her new song, Yahweh. Remember? He's almost 2 years old, so people aren't upset because of his disability. What enrages them is that he is a victim of his surroundings and that he was born into a situation where all we saw his parents do was a lot of toxic behaviors. I think we can all agree that stopping posting about him on social media and keeping him out of the spotlight was the best decision she's made in a long time. How many times did we see Cash online threatening to have an abortion and neglecting to take proper care of herself while she was pregnant? Kash's continued denial and refusal to do more to help her son speak to the immaturity and unfortunate circumstances that their son was born into. And it doesn't help that Blue's mother, Clarissa, is also involved. Unconventional, immature things led to an unplanned pregnancy for two people who initially didn't even want the baby.